in wake of UFC 309, we're a little saddened, Stipe lost. It's upsetting. But, and the good news, we have some absolutely incredible fights coming to us in the near future. Let me show you exactly what's coming to us. We got Ian Garry versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Boys, this might be an absolute banger of a fucking fight. I know it's unfortunate Bilal had to drop out because I have a foot infection. It was really bad. Did you guys see the pictures of that? Oh boy, was it bad. So hopefully he recovers well. But good news is we have two undefeated guys. Shavkat being 18-0 with 18 finishes. I think he's like 9 and 8, like 9 knockouts, 8 submissions, or 9 submissions, 8 knockouts, or 9 and 9. 9 and 9 is 18, right? And then we got Ian Garry, who is respectively in his own world 15-0. Not quite as exciting as a fighter as Shavkat Rakhmonov, but somebody's always got to go, and those fights are almost never bad. Also, I don't think I've seen a bad Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. So that is going to be an absolute banger of a fight. That's going to be the co-main event at UFC 310 under Pantoja versus Kai Asakura, which also interesting fight. We'll talk about that at some point. Interesting fight to see someone come in with no fights and get a title shot right away. But hey, if he's good, he's good. Anyway, December 14th, the last main card of the year. Colby Covington is taking on Joaquin Buckley at UFC Fight Night. What fucking fight night is it? Where are they? Where are they going to be at? Doesn't tell me on here. Why would it? Anyway, main event fight, 5 rounds. Covington, who unfortunately has not beat a ranked opponent who is currently fighting in the UFC, is fighting Joaquin Buckley, who, let's be honest, has really found a home at 170 pounds. He's a big 170, but he was a small 185er. Did you see that fight when he fought Imavov? How small he looked in there. So I'm really happy to see Joaquin fighting at 170. He's really coming to his own. Just knocked out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which no one really has ever done outside of Anthony Pettis. And, real hard to do with a striker of the caliber as Stephen Thompson fighting Colby Covington. So, honestly, this fight is kind of flying under the radar a little bit, in my opinion, but should be a absolutely fantastic matchup. And then we got Nate Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. Guys, if you don't know Doo Ho Choi, go watch. I mean, this is a while ago. I think this was like UFC 198 or something when he fought Cub Swanson in Canada. A lot of new fight fans might not know who Doo Ho Choi is because he's South Korean. He had that mandatory military service. So he was kind of out. He was out for 2-3 years. Hasn't fought all that much. Let's see. When was the last time Doo Ho Choi fought? I know he fought kind of recently, but he had quite the long layoff. But to kind of give you an example, I know a lot of you guys know Nate Landwehr. Oh, he just fought Billy Algeo. I didn't even see that fight. I got to go back and watch that. But these two, him and Nate Landwehr, are kind of the same guys, different fonts. Oh boy, he was on a little bit of a losing streak, but yeah, he fought that fight to Cub Swanson in 2016 at UFC 206. Fought 2018, 2019, and then didn't fight again until he fought Kyle Nelson in 2023, and then just had that nice TKO win against Billy Algeo, which apparently I never saw. But there is, and listen, I've said this before, and the opposite has happened via Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou. But I am almost certain there is no way that this fight can be boring. Mark my words, and if I'm wrong, you guys can make fun of me for it, but I am almost certain that this fight is going to be an absolute fucking banger. I can't wait for it. And then we got kind of an interesting fight here. I don't really know if this is a fun fight announcement or a let's talk about this fight announcement. Bryce Mitchell's coming back since it's going to be his first fight since he had that horrible knockout. I mean, there's two categories of knockouts in my brain. There's categories where everyone kind of jumps for just like, oh my god, that was crazy, and then there's knockouts to where you go, oh no, is he okay? And that was one of those when he fought Josh Emmett. But he's fighting Kron Gracie. Interesting. Kron has had 2 fights in the last 5 years. Fought Charles Jourdain in May of 2023, and I think his most recent fight before that was all the way back in 2019. I didn't even know he was still in the UFC. I thought they had cut him because he was so inactive and really hasn't. He's 5-2. I mean, okay record, but nothing crazy. Has that Gracie name, so there's a little bit of that. But just a real interesting choice in fight there. That's going to be, I believe, at UFC 310 as well. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see it. I mean, it's a good matchup for Bryce Mitchell because that knockout really wasn't all that long ago. What is that, 7-8 months ago? And he probably should have taken more time off. And Kron's probably not going to knock the lights out of him like Josh Emmett did. So, a good matchup for Bryce and a fight for Kron, in my opinion, that just really doesn't make any sense. Could see a lot of fun jiu-jitsu transitions, though. I mean, Bryce Mitchell has almost had 2 twisters in the UFC. Definitely had that one crazy twister that he had. So, a high-level jiu-jitsu matchup there at 145 pounds. And then this fight is also kind of flying under the radar, in my opinion. We got Anthony Hernandez versus Brendan Allen 2. And you're like, Josh, when did they fight? They fought in LFA, but they're putting in 2. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that. That's going to be February 22nd. Anthony Hernandez is a guy who is really coming to his own. When he fought Rodolfo Vieira and submitted him, everyone was like, oh my God. At least I don't know about you guys. But I was like, who the fuck is this kid? And sometimes when that happens, they have a big win like that. You don't really, really maybe hear from them again, where that was kind of their one, big win. But I mean, I think he is on quite the winning streak here. As far as I mean, didn't he just beat Michel Pereira? Yeah, 13-2 overall, right? I mean, real good fighter. Let's see. Has he been winning? Yeah, he is not lost since 2020 when he fought Kevin Holland, got knocked out against Kevin Holland, but then beat Rodolfo Vieira via guillotine, submitted Marc-Andre Barriault, knocked out Edmund Shabazian, choked out Roman Kopylov, who, by the way, that fight, Kopylov was one of those guys that's like, oh, here's another Russian striker, he's a bad motherfucker. And then Anthony Hernandez just shut that down. And then, yeah, he did TKO him. TKO'd Michel Pereira. So this fight is going to be, I think this fight's going to be real exciting. And Brendan Allen, same thing. I know he just lost to Nasruddin Imavov, but had not lost in the UFC since he fought Chris Curtis in 2021. I mean, lots of big wins. He beat Chris Curtis, beat Paul Craig, beat Bruno Silva, Andre Munoz, Krzysztof Jokic, who, by the way, was a bad man back in the day. I mean, not back in the day. He's not an old guy, but there was a time where Krzysztof Jokic was scary. So, but yeah, fantastic fight there. And then this is not a fight, but this is a location of a fight. UFC 311 is gonna be at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. And if you're not a basketball fan and you don't know where that is, I'll put an image up here on the screen. A fight here is going to be fucking bananas, and I can't wait just to see what that's gonna look like. But hey, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, if you want to, that'd be fantastic. I would love if you subscribe or like the video. It helps me out a lot. If you didn't like the video, then you don't have to subscribe. It's okay. It won't hurt my feelings. It will, but it's okay. But thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.